All right, so think about the most insane celebrity you know. It doesn't matter. Rick James is probably more insane. Now, real quick, y'all know Rick James, right? Very popular singer in the 80s. You may also know him from that Chappelle Show skit, I'm Rick James. No, but today we're gonna be talking about the time he used to kidnap people. See, Rick James had a problem. He was on that stuff. One day, this record executive named Mary gets a call. It's from Rick James. He says, look, Mary, I need some help with some record label stuff. Mary says, well, that makes sense. You're famous singer Rick James. I'm on my way. So Mary goes over to the Sunset Tower in Hollywood where Rick James is at. She walks in his room. She sees Rick James and his then girlfriend, Tanya. They said, can we offer you any refreshment? We got water, we got chips, we got cocoa. It's the early 90s. I'm talking about that cocoa. Mary, the record executive, said, oh, let me get some water and a side of cocoa. They all dabble in a little cocoa. Rick James says, okay, so Mary, why I called you here is because I want to start my own record label. I just wanted to know some logistics. Mary said, great question. Skrr. Suddenly, Tanya starts yelling at Rick out of nowhere. They begin to argue. Rick said, man, Tanya, watch out, we got company. Tanya said, man, I don't care about all that. Mary said, oh, maybe I should go. Mary packs up her stuff. She leaves. Tanya then stops Mary at the elevator. She says, Mary, I'm so sorry. You know, we shouldn't have done that in front of you. Please come back. Mary says, all right. She goes back. And here's where things start to get wicked. As soon as Mary gets back, she starts discussing the ins and outs of record labels. Tanya suddenly just gets upset at Mary, starts yelling at Mary. Mary says, nah, slow down, Tanya. Tanya says, slow down where? Boom! She suddenly smacks Mary. Mary looks at Rick. Rick smacks Mary too. They both start going ham on Mary, Rick and Tanya. And this is for no apparent reason. Mary loses consciousness. She then wakes up after they splash water on her, and then they continue going ham on her. Now, Mary at this point is injured and confused. She looks at the time and realizes Rick has kept her for 20 hours. Rick then says to Mary, okay, Mary, you can go. But please don't call the cops. Mary gets up, she leaves. She calls the cops. The cops said, hold on, you talking about famous singer Rick James? Mary said, I know, you're probably not gonna believe me. No, the cops said, no, we believe you. He's on bail for doing the same thing a month ago. Yeah, Rick and his girlfriend Tanya just got out on bail for kidnapping somebody for 6 days and doing them way worse than they did Mary. So the police go over to Rick and Tanya. They said, put your hands behind your back. They said, all right, that's fair. And the court case itself was quick. While Mary is repeating the story of what Rick and Tanya did to her, people hear loud snoring in the courtroom. Rick James sleep. Rick James' lawyer said, Your Honor, my client has just been a little sick lately. He hasn't been getting too much sleep. The judge said, all right, let's perform a recess. Hold on, is she smiling? The lawyer said, The jury said, don't even worry about it. We're going to say guilty. The lawyer said, all right, that's fair. Now, the only thing they could prove was an assault charge. So Rick got 5 years, Tanya got 4 years, and they were ordered to pay $1 million to Mary, the music executive.